Can your kids be silly with their friends? You know, some kids cannot be silly with certain friends because the friend doesn't approve of that behavior. And it's almost like that friend is directing the relationship. In today's video, I want to help you do a few things. One is identify friendships that are no good for your child, help them build self-awareness, improve their stress management while communicating, and get down to decision making. The first thing I want to do is show you this product. This is a wonderful product because it has so many games, and the way they are organized is by life skills, supplies, and the actual activity. This was created by Susan Kaiser Greenland with Annika Harris. Okay, wonderful resource. Now I'm gonna do the shake it up, and this is when you pretend like you have glue underneath your feet. I can't. Oh, wait. Now, one thing I love to be playful. As much as I am serious, I love to be playful. And in this video, I'm talking to you about how we can support our kids in being their multi-dimensional self, right? Multifaceted, I must say multi-dimensional, multifaceted self. But there are friends that they have with whom they cannot be that. And I want to be very honest with you. Those friends are a problem, okay? The problem is that with that child, your child can only be one or two or a few ways. This is a red light. If I had a red light, I'd put it, boom, red. If your child can only be one way or two ways and the child can't be silly, if your child has to be serious or they have to be, something like popular and do all the trending stuff, they can't be themselves, that's a problem, okay? So you can only be this way with me, or you can only be one of two ways or one of three ways. That is an expression of a cognitive distortion called black and white thinking. And we don't want our kids to have black and white thinking because that goes into a fixed mindset. We want them to have a growth mindset. So we want them to expand their minds, multifaceted, so many different colors, not simply the rainbow with 8 colors or the rainbow, but the beautiful, like you zoom in and there's more color, you zoom in and there's more color, right? So the friend who requires your child to be only one or two or three ways, they have to go. Okay, so this activity, Shake It Up, which is found in this game box, and these are mindful games, you can do this with your child. You can say, well, show me your playful self. Do you have friends with whom you can be playful and serious? That's the key. Do you have friends with whom you can be playful and serious? If you have to be one way or one of two ways or one of three ways, they've got to go. Okay? Now, the other thing is the friend who says, I can only do this with you, or I can only tell you about this, or you're the only one who will understand me. Notice how I'm using the word only. That is very dangerous, and I'm very passionate about this because some of our children are in predatory friendships, predatory relationships for those 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and they are a trap. Why are they a trap? Especially if your child is being sexually active and they're in a relationship with somebody and the person is using the words like only, I can only do this with you, or I can only share this with you. They are just as dangerous as the adult online posing to be a child saying that, oh, you're the only one who understands me. I've got to go into this because the children, I asked them, what do they want to know more about? And one of them said, relationships and self-awareness. So how do we help them build self-awareness? Are they able to be themselves? Are they able to just enjoy and be playful and be serious? And it's not an only type of situation. If that friend has certain requirements and then the child feels isolated, that is a problem, that is a problem. So we want to support our young people in feeling a sense of connectedness, okay? Connected. Now we're doing a few things in this video, right? I'm still sharing with you mindful games that you can use with your teenager, with your young children. Okay, now the next game I want to show you, and this is going to be the last one, this is called Duck or Rabbit, and this is about perspective. Okay, now I just said there are teenagers who, with your child, they're very demanding. You can only do this or you can only do that. That child has black and white thinking, which is a cognitive distortion. We're not blaming the child. The child is growing up in an environment that promotes that type of cognition, okay? And that type of cognition is a hindrance to connection, because if you use words like only, well, you can only do this, or I can only tell you, what happens is someone's going to start feeling isolated, okay? This is not anecdotal. For me, this is a universal experience. So we want to support our children. Well, how do we help them to recognize? You want to have a conversation with them about their friends. And when you introduce this concept to them, you want to say, let's talk about your 5 closest friends, okay? And then let's talk about the ones who are not as close, but still you consider them part of your friend. We're doing a friends inventory, okay? Now this is not in the activity box, this is in this activity box. You want to ask them, well, what do you like about them? How do they make you feel? What's the language like between you? How do you talk to each other? I was at one of our uplifting family potlucks, and the kids, the way they talk to each other, I said, oh, we couldn't be friends when I was your age. You all are mean to each other, okay? And so they're like, no, Ashley, that's how we talk to each other. That's how we talk. I said, oh, well, couldn't be me, okay? Because they're calling each other, and they're not swearing, but it's just like, you don't call your friends dumb, and, I want to say a bum as well, because bum is that's a word right there. So, language, right? How do they make you feel? How do you talk to each other? And do you have any concerns? Is there anything that I can support you with? That is a wonderful way to do a friend's inventory, okay? Can you be silly with them as much as you are serious? Do you feel like you can't share certain accomplishments with them? Do you feel like you can only relate to them in discomfort? Now this is really important. This is really important because some of our young people are learning from their adults how to relate in sickness but not in health, okay? And when we talk about being able to relate in sickness and in health, you say, well, that's a vow, sounds like. Well, relationships do have standards, I hope. If they don't, then they're wild, okay? But we want to be able to relate in the expansiveness, the wholeness of who we are. So when we say in sickness and in health and everything in between, it means that you can celebrate together. It means that you can cheer each other on. It means that you can be supportive of one another when you've done something courageous and now you're feeling like, oh gosh, you're feeling a little uncertain about it. That's what we want our kids to experience, okay? Not just the friend who, every time there's a problem, oh, my stomach hurts, oh, I can't function, oh, I just don't know what to do, I don't know what's happening, all of these things. And then the kid is like, it's draining. It's draining, and it happens for teenagers as well. It happens for tweens. Kids get tired of each other, okay? Because of the behavior, because there's a mismatch in values. So we want to support them. And with this activity, after you do your friends inventory, or while you're doing it, you have your duck and rabbit card, and you say, is this a duck or a rabbit? Okay? And I just think this is such a great activity because, again, we're talking about perspective, and it's okay to be able to look at something and see things differently. For years, I was afraid to disagree with people because I grew up in a house where if you disagreed, there was a problem, and the problem could result in the police being called, okay? I'm not the only one, right? I'm not the only one. And I'm not going to demonize one parent and put another parent on the pedestal. No, they were both at fault. They both need help, okay? And I love both of them to the end and beginning of life and the regeneration of life. I love my parents. But they needed help in their relationship, and it didn't work out, okay? So when these things occur in adulthood, they have their start in childhood. They have their start in adolescence, because we learn how to be in relationship with each other, and we learn how to disagree, and we learn how to agree. Sometimes agreeing means I have to please you, even though I'm afraid. That's called fawning. I'll do that in another video, because some of our children are afraid of losing a connection. So they're keeping these people around because they don't know what they'll do if they're not there. That's another video. I'm going to do that video next, okay? But it's okay to have a different perspective, and you want to tell your child with this activity box, or you just screenshot this and say, is this a duck or a rabbit? And this is not the first type of activity. There's many of activities, many pieces of art that you can look at, and as many people as there are is as many perspectives as you will have, okay? But teach your children that it's okay to disagree with your friends. And you don't always have to agree to disagree. You can agree to agree on what matters. That's what I want to leave you with. Agree to agree on what matters. And it may be that it's time to end the friendship. It may be that the friendship has fulfilled its purpose and it's time to move on. And as adults, we can be there to support our kids. I bless you. I want the best for you. Let me know what questions you have. Would you do any of these activities with your child? Are you going to do a friends inventory with your child? I really want you to be successful in supporting your students. I'm here for you. I'll see you again soon.